Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Pallet the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop me a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 41 of Stormbringer magazine. We get the second part of our Spirit of Durfu mini as well, which is the huge Tree Lord Ancient from the Sylvaneth range. So if you wanted to, you can make it into the Tree Lord, you can make it into the Tree Lord Ancient, or you can make it into the Spirit of Durfu. Entirely your choice, but really cool mini in all honesty. So obviously this is part 2. The other sprue is just as big as this. You do have options with weapons, so the Spirit of Durfu normally is equipped with a sword, so you can choose to have a sword, or you can choose the good old vine tendrils that are being used as a whip, or you can use the spear that is on the other sprue. Entirely your choice, but a super cool mini. One I must admit I'm really looking forward to getting going with. You do get a few extra little bits on here, so you get some flying creatures on there, so you've got one just down in the bottom corner, you got one up there, you also even have a little owl just there, which is pretty damn nifty. So really cool stuff. A super mini as well. I genuinely love this model. It's one of my favourites of the Sylvaneth, in all honesty, so I'm really looking forward to getting going with this one. Going into the issue though, first off we're greeted by the realm of metal. So the bright sound of metal on metal rings out as vapours rise from twisting quicksilver rivers. This is Shamon, the realm of metal. In this mortal realm, the only constant is change. Travellers are confronted by transmuting vistas as they venture across the perilous shifting landscapes. The realm of metal is ever changing, its lands torn apart and reordered by cosmic forces. Now the realm exists as a collection of landscapes hanging in the sky. Across its many great domains, rivers of mercury wind through the rusted landscapes. Flaking scrap mountains rise high above glittering valleys strewn with ores and minerals, while overhead huge metallic islands float on magnetic currents. On the ground, rust-barked trees and ferrous bushes cover the plains. Many of the plants are toxic and food crops only grow in a few areas. Great armed convoys cross the landscape, carrying edible copper grass to cities and settlements across the realms. So, the realm of metal, obviously based on the winds of magic and the magic of metal and alchemy and such like in the fact of Shamon, and it is a very different landscape from all the other realms. All the other realms have this kind of generalized kind of uniqueness to them. Shyish is a very mostly deserty type of area, full of dead cities, dead trees, dead everything, because it's based on the winds of magic and the death magic. Azir is very bright and heavenly. Good old Haish, being the good old magic of light, is very bright, vistful and beautiful. Ulgu is very shadowy because it is good old shadow magic and such like that. So obviously, you know, the realm of metal is going to be a little bit weird, it's going to be a little bit unusual, and is a very perilous realm at the same time. Moving on to the other page, we get a little bit of information about the realmstone of Shamon, which is Chamonite. So it takes form of floating globes of soft silver, and it's used in alchemy to create alloys and with shifting properties. There are, as always, a lot of war within the realms as well, so Shamon is constantly beset by conflict on the ground and in the sky. The Cadron overlords use ethematic technology to adapt the constant instability of the surrounding lands. Other warriors rely on fortitude and faith to triumph. However, the forces of chaos revel in the mercurial nature of the realm, in particular the Lord of Change, Tzeentch. So, there's obviously a lot going on in Chamon, so pretty interesting, pretty cool, and it's always nice to have a bit more information. Then moving on, we get painting technique tips and tricks, so all to do with dry brushing and how to paint your minis. So obviously you do get different types of dry brushes. So we've already had a small dry brush. You can get bigger dry brushes if you want to. You can use makeup brushes for dry brushing, and basically the idea is you should work a bit of paint into it, only a small amount, and then thoroughly kind of dry off the paint. So you don't want it so it's completely bone dry, so you want it so it smoothly goes on. So the way I normally do dry brushing is over things like stone and stuff like that. So for instance, that you have several different gradients of grey going over a single thing. The idea is that you go over lightly depending on how many gradients of one colour you're doing. So for instance, with that, I started off with Mechanica Standard Grey, then a heavier dry brush of Dawnstone, then a light dry brush of Administratum Grey, and then a very light dry brush of Corax White, and that gives you that kind of edged highlight all the way up, where I don't think I need to do anything more to make that look a bit more like stone. And that's generally how you do it. Very simple way of technique. If you need more, in all honesty, you can find loads of videos online. However, I will be doing a lot of dry brushing when I do my good old Spirited Durfu mini, so I will post them as soon as I can for you guys. And yeah, it's up to you if you want to follow the techniques that I will be doing. And I will be using makeup brushes for it because they're actually fairly handy, because yeah, they have really nice soft bristles, which is always really good. Anyway, moving on, obviously you get more about using how to use a dry brush, and then we move on, we get our painting guide for the Spirited Durfu. Now, the reason why it has decided to go on about dry brushing is because painting up the Spirited Durfu using dry brushing techniques is very good and works wonders. So using your brushes, paint up your Spirited Durfu. Obviously paint it up darker colours first and then your lighter colours over the top. The idea is put all your base coats on, then go over and you can dry brush over other bits and pieces. You do your leaves, your everything like that if you wanted to, and yeah, you can get a very nice flowing colour out of everything, and then you dry brush over the top and you can get some really nice shades. So entirely up to you how you want to go painting it. As I have kind of mentioned before with Sylvaneth, my idea for painting them would be pick kind of like a tree colour that you like. So if you like that dark earthy brown colour, go with that. If you want something a bit silvery, maybe using a little bit of Corax White over the top makes it look like silver birch, for instance, and such like. So you can manipulate it and change it to how you want your Sylvaneth to look, so they can become from, I don't know, different clades and such like. Entirely up to you. Have a bit of fun with it, but otherwise enjoy your painting, and I'm sure you'll have some great minis at the end of it. But the idea is basically at the end of painting up through following the guide, you will have something that looks similar to this. This actually works really quite well. It's a very nice basic colour scheme for it. Some of it's pretty good, some of it's a little bit off. It is entirely up to you if you want to do it this way. Personally, I do kind of like it, I kind of don't like it at exactly the same time. Now, for me personally, the Gryph-hound orange inside of the mouth and the eyes and everything like that works very nicely. However, the Reichland flesh shade over there, it doesn't work for me personally. It just doesn't sit, and I think it could be better. Obviously the way this is done, it's done so it's just tabletop ready for you, and you can add your own little tweaks to it to make it even better. But I don't know, there's just something about it that I don't kind of like with the shade over the top. I may be proven wrong, but yeah, there's just something about it. Moving on now, obviously we get our war scroll for our Spirit of Durthu. So obviously it does have missile weapons of a verdant blast. You can use your Guardian sword, and obviously it does have impaling talons, which, you know, is a pretty cool nifty little bit of kit. You can do more damage and you can do a lot of her extra bits. There is a damage table as well, depending on how many wounds the Spirit of Durthu has taken, and the Spirit of Durthu can take 14 wounds, which is pretty beefy. So a really powerful unit to have. It's a monster, it's a free spirit, it's a hero. Super cool unit. On the other page, obviously you get your tutorial how to utilize abilities such as Ground Shaker, Spirit Paths, and being a Wrathful Guardian, and it's your choice how you want to go about utilizing this. Then we have our battle plan. Now this is classed as battle pack 1, and this is because it's a new battle plan, and how to utilize the scouting and such like as well for it, and how through the realm gate it's gone, and then we have our through the gate battle as well, and more. So really good stuff, pretty cool, and definitely worth having. Obviously with this as well, you can also have options, so whether you're going with your Lord Imperator and 5 Vindictors, and then you can pick whether you're having the Spirit of Durthu and a Knight Arcanum, or 4 Praetors and the Stormstrike Chariot, going up against the Alliance of Destruction in the shape of the Loon Boss, 10 Hobgrot Slitters, and 20 Moon Clan Shooters. And then your choices are either Swamp Crawler Shaman and Potgrot, and Marsh Crawler Slogoth, or you can have a Man Skewer Bolt Boys and the Beast Skewer Killbow. Entirely up to you, but it makes it a little bit more unique, depending on what you want to run with. So really cool stuff, and you can have a really good battle. It's pretty good fun, and you'll have a pretty interesting, I'm sure. We also get a pull-out section as well, all to do with the armies of Shaman. So obviously we have the Kharadron Overlords, who we do get some of these guys coming soon, which will be really cool, and I'm looking forward to getting some more of these guys because they're quite fun to paint. We also get good old, when I can turn it over, the Disciples of Tzeentch and the Celestial Vindicators are also made Shaman their home. On the other side, we also get the Iron Golems, who are a faction of Chaos as well, and they fight in the eyes of the Chaos Gods, and the Iron Golems, who do actually tend to be personal smiths of Archaon himself. And obviously the Gloomspite Gits are in there as well, so because, you know, they're pretty much everywhere. And then we also get some information on how the Realm of Metal is shaped as well, so you can have a look at that with its kind of nutty colours and very unusual kind of ground formations. So really cool stuff. Genuinely an interesting place as well within the Mortal Realms, so it's quite unique in its own right and really good fun. And then lastly we get to move on. So next week we have issue 42 and Mollog the Mighty and Mollog's Mob for the Gloomspite Gits range. We learn more about magic within the realms and destruction tactics as well. Then issue 43 we get Tree Revenants, and we find out more about chaos. So we get 5 Tree Revenants. If I remember rightly, these can also be made into Spite Revenants. Entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it, but really cool minis, more Sylvaneth to our armies, and obviously it's always your choice how you want to paint them, but really good stuff. So happy days. That is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't already seen it, please check out the breaking news video linked at the end of this video. If you are a collector of Stormbringer magazine, it is worth your time to watch it. So if you've already missed it, it was released on Tuesday, so please by all means go give that a watch. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.